Hello. Hello. I'm Reagan Parrington. And this is Una the Taco. Or Una the Muffin. She's a Manx, which means she has no tail. You can see her fluffy little behind here. And she has long rabbit legs. And she is almost 7 months old, probably. And she's got her claws. And she is going on her bed. And she's cranky because we had a rainstorm here last night. So she was up all night. Poor thing. So in classic Black Bear, Jim Massa, Paul Beckwith style news, I'm going to run through a few web articles here because they are free. And if I close the window, then I might have to subscribe. So I'm going to get into that. I don't have papers printed out like other people who do science updates. I also wanted to address Lone Wonder 99 commenting that I should let go. Believe me, my friend, I have let go long time ago. And it doesn't stop the fact that what we're experiencing and what we're going through is one of the most apocalyptic, unlike anything other event in human history. Well, there were other miniature events which caused collapse of civilizations, changing of local proximity, weather, and climate conditions, but not on a worldwide scale, which is what we'll get to today. And yeah, I waited to the very last minute. I waited, I held out hope for a long time. I was, kind of not in denial, but there was a shred of humanity left in me, maybe hope, 1% hope, maybe we will change things around. But no, by this point, with all the news going on and what we're going to get to today and what's happened, with legislation and how far the processes are along, the feedback loops and aerosol masking, it's totally kaput. We're toast. And I don't want to not acknowledge the influence other people have on each other. This whole thing, what it takes. There's a whole study of system dynamics or culture, how tipping points in culture, how we see the other person doing it, so we do it. That's real. And I feel that in public. As much as being an outsider, trust me, I don't dress like anyone around me most of the time. I'm an outsider. I'm able to separate myself from other people. But when I go into a public space, I can feel the pressure of people around me and the need to conform and, how to orient, behave yourself, which is fine. We want a civil society. I'm not arguing against that. I'm saying in terms of climate change, taking this knowledge and going into public and applying it and realizing that, everything we have is fossil fuel. So I just want to get to a few articles today. I'm going to start recording the screen. So we'll get to that last. Adapting to climate change happening worldwide, essential. This is from the UN News press briefing. The headline is Impacts of Climate Change are very visible and happening worldwide. The head of the UN Weather Agency told the start of the 55th session of the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which convened on Monday. So they're meeting again, and they're basically saying the same thing, that it's everywhere, happening worldwide, and they think that 2 degrees was an ambitious, but now they're saying 1.5 would be a game changer. Yeah, right. Moving on, so that there's no debate, because I seem to be hearing a lot of people complain about talking to their therapists. Someone on Michael Dowd's channel said he can't even talk to his therapist anymore, or I'm sorry, he can't watch Michael Dowd's content, who I think is a little bit optimistic. He's still definitely doomed in incredible work. I think we're toast by 2040 because of the rate. We're worse than worst case scenario, and it's exponential. I mean, just look at the chart. It says he can't talk to his therapist about it. Or, no, sorry, can't watch Michael Dowd's channel. And so this is a quick article. Climate change is real and caused by people. It just basically, the headline, this is in Yale, Climate Connections, Scientific Academics, Professional Society Association, Government, and non-governmental organizations publish research worldwide are aligned. Essentially, the bottom line, what you need about this is this consensus from everybody across the board is that it's happening. The evidence is everywhere. I don't know how many more times we got to say this. Here's a fun one. Let's get back to our economy, because that's what the most important thing is. This from Yahoo Finance. U.S. choices on climate change could cost $14.5 trillion or generate $3 trillion.
Deloitte's deputy CEO, because Deloitte is out with a new report, The Turning Point, a new economic climate in the United States, and two key points that we want to begin discussing
they put a dollar
with Alicia
sign.
Rose. One, the report says that the United States economy could gain $3 trillion if it rapidly decarbonizes over the next 50 years. On the flip side, if we don't, we face economic losses of 14.5
Seems like an obvious choice, right?
Seems like an obvious choice ahead of us.
Obvious choice.
But it is so hard when you say decarbonize
so
now.
Funny.
What does that look like?
Yes. Thank you very much for having me, Adam and Emily. You've highlighted two of the key points. Let me share some of the context of the report. It is a
Fuck this bullshit. I'm a little more of a rebel doomer, okay? Not that I'm not informed. I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. Sorry, I feel like some people are in a PhD crowd. Let's keep going. U.S. choices on climate change could cost $14.5 trillion. Exactly what she said. Delaying the net zero transition. Guys, over the next 50 years. Go watch my last video. Go watch most of my... Look at all this industry. And this is all the greenhouse gases by sector. Every single thing there has to not emit carbon anymore. And I just heard from Science Update today that a Shell has a carbon capture plant that actually emits as much more carbon. It costs like 120 million cars to run the thing. Okay, it's going to cost $5 trillion to $9.5 trillion every year until 2050 if we want to go net zero. And I can't even make $100 fucking dollars in a day. Shut the fuck up. Keep going. This is from Time. To take climate change seriously, the U.S. military needs to shrink. This has been covered by many people all across the board, but basically the summary is like the Department of Defense has pushed for it. They've known about it for a long time. The military industries count for 5% of the world's carbon emissions every year, which is quite a bit. To get, petroleum, to fly jets, heat buildings, ferry food supplies to 750 bases spread across the world, probably more. All told, produces emissions footprint, there's that term, greater than the entire country of Sweden. Get real. And so they just keep going on saying like, oh, we got to build these like electric cars. Look. Like, we got to build these military Humvees, like Battlefield 2042 style. I play PUBG. That's how I let go. And we need to make every vehicle electric by 2035. And tactical vehicles by 2050. Meanwhile, we're going to net zero, guys. Then the last thing is an opinion from the Washington Post, which I'm hesitant to read, but he summarizes everything great down into this bottom. This is why I held out to the last moment. I was like, maybe, like legislation, like maybe we could build like a reflector and build carbon-sucking machines and paint all the rooftops white. Like, dude, like maybe. No, we did it. We fucked it. We completely fucked it. And I am an optimistic, helping person. This is like the ultimate nail in the coffin. So the Post goes on about how they made a video. The Nancy Pelosi and Newt Gingrich said, oh yeah, we do agree that climate change is a problem and we have to get started on it. Just fart in the wind. But let's look at the news. The NOAA says that sea level is going to rise by an entire foot between now and 2050. Many more feet, I assume. Again, they're conservative, all estimates, I feel like, from organizations have to be conservative at this point. It was what I learned years into this. Western droughts is the worst in 1,200 years. Build Back Better is on ice. That got stalled. So they've frozen hundreds of billions of dollars in private capital earmarked for climate projects across the country, which complicated America's green energy revolution. Republicans are trying to block Biden's nomination of Sarah Bloom Baskin, regulating a Federal Reserve, because she advocated for the financial industry to do more to plan for the economic effects of climate change. Like, Republicans are literally the worst fucking people on the planet. On the fucking planet. One of my best friend's daughter is dating like a Republican or like a right winger. And like, I respect him, but like, I would slap the shit out of my daughter. No question. No, actually, I wouldn't get physical with her. I wouldn't even have a kid, but I would be like, what the fuck are you thinking? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then, spurred by climate change, and legislators at the state level working to prevent officials from dealing with businesses that are moving to wean themselves from fossil fuels. And then in Florida, where there's sunshine, the Republican legislators working with the state's largest utility to undermine net metering. A hugely popular system that with consumers with solar panels to send surplus energy back to the grid. If they say, the solar companies say, if the bill passes, they'll have to shut down and move on to other states. Like, this is unbelievable. We are like straight up head first into concrete as a civilization. We are jumping off the Eiffel Tower, Empire State Building, head first with no helmet into the concrete. This is the summary of what is happening to us. And they say, oh, Republicans here and there said they'll do something on it, but overall they've been blocking. And then you've had Trump in, and then it just goes on. It means that every step of the progress we make on climate, there's no fucking progress. Well, they come after a fight, and after the power they wield, Republicans make those fights as long as difficult as possible. It's like, oh, they'll make it long and difficult as possible until we're all fucking dead. And at this rate it's going, guys, and we can't even reverse it. Like, we're just going to keep tumbling. Maybe we can thank them, like, because if we didn't, then the aerosol masking would get us. Lose, lose, and lose. Learn to let go. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Bye.